So you have a product you want to sell, and you're debating between marketing it in direct response versus e-commerce, and wondering, can you do both? I'm James Klein, and I will answer that for you in the next few minutes. In today's world, I think it's very important to diversify your traffic channels. There's no reason you can't do direct response and e-commerce simultaneously. Certain buyers will resonate with your direct response version of your offer, while others prefer a more e-commerce style fast purchase. There's no reason you can't do both. You just have to understand that each channel requires different messaging. The direct response buyer will gladly put the time into watching a long video or reading a long sales page to learn all about your product. Whereas a more traditional e-commerce buyer has probably already heard about your product or came across it searching on the web, and therefore goes to your e-commerce page with higher intent. There's no reason to make an e-commerce buyer read a long page or watch a long video. They're used to shopping on Amazon, where it's pick the product, click, and you're done. E-commerce is very much the same thing. You need very simple, straightforward product pages that describe the benefits of your product, and then give the customer as many purchasing options as you can. One unit, multiple units, monthly subscription versus one-time purchase. Whereas the direct response buyer needs more education before they will purchase your product. The beauty of today's world is that you can do all of this simultaneously via how you target consumers. So you can run ads, for example, on Google or Facebook, targeting an older demographic and creating more curiosity-based ads, which then will drive them to your direct response offer, whereas an e-commerce type ad will be more direct and just lead to your product, be optimized for SEO, and allow the customer to purchase very quickly. Giving the e-commerce customer the ability to do one-click checkouts is very important, whereas the direct response buyer will require a little bit more work. You have to explain why your product is the right solution for whatever problem it is that they're trying to solve. And then you give them as many possible options as you can. Again, single unit, multi-unit, larger packages, and then upsells to potentially offer them even more product that work extremely well in a direct response context, but don't work nearly as well in the e-commerce world. One of the big differences between direct response and e-commerce is that much of the direct response marketing is story-based, where you're introducing a story about a person or an event. You're hoping that the person looking at that direct response page will see themselves somewhere in that story, and then you lead them on a journey to ultimately reveal the solution, which is your product. And only then do you encourage them to buy. E-commerce is much more reliant on things like social proof. So if you have a lot of good product reviews from customers, be sure they're all over your e-commerce pages, use them in ads, because that's likely what's going to help the customer make the decision to purchase. Let's face it, all of us buy things off Amazon. When you look at a listing on Amazon, one of the first things we all do is click on the reviews to see feedback from people like you, which will hopefully lead you towards making the buying decision. The more social proof you can have in your e-commerce marketing, the more successful you will likely be. The other big difference between e-commerce and direct response is how you communicate with your customer once they've made the first purchase. When you purchase from a good e-commerce brand, you're getting regular emails or SMS from them. Not only about sales, but just about building that relationship, having them provide additional information to you to help you get the best result possible from their product. In the direct response world, there tends to be much less of that. I try to incorporate that philosophy in my direct response offers as well. Another really big difference between direct response and e-commerce, especially in the world of nutritional supplements, is that the e-commerce buyer will generally buy 1 or 2 bottles at a time, whereas the direct response buyer will be presented multiple options when they make their first purchase. So for example, 1, 3, or 6 bottles of a supplement. Once they've paid for that initial purchase, in the direct response world, there's always opportunity to offer them more. So either more of the same product or complementary products that will help them accelerate their results. The benefit of that style of marketing is that you tend to have a much bigger average order value on day one. So the initial purchase tends to be much higher. In the e-commerce world, what you're ideally hoping for is that the customer will buy 1 unit of your product, like it, and then you get them to come back and either buy more, or even better, get them to go on monthly subscriptions so that they're getting automatic deliveries every month. It's a very different philosophy, but there's no reason that somebody can't do both in parallel. One of the great things about the direct response world is that it's a great way to get new customers. One of the important things to focus on when you do get a new customer, regardless of where they came from, is to be sure that their shopping experience and customer service experience is the best possible. That's how you will ultimately retain them and keep them as a long-term customer, which should be the goal of every business. These are the strategies that I'm using for my business, where we acquire customers from direct response, e-commerce, Amazon, and TikTok, and we're focused on delivering an exceptional experience for all of them. I'm James Klein. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and please be sure to like and follow this ClickBank channel to get lots of great information about direct response marketing.